Abby Poe.
And welcome to Firestone Stadium on a Saturday morning. We are underway after a couple of days of rain. Our Showcase Softball Tournament underway. Rob Polinsky along with Mark Mulvaney. And Mark, tell us a little bit about what we're going to see today.
Right now we've got Kayla Gomez, 2013 pitcher out of Lemoore, California. Starting out, we've had a couple of changes to our lineup today. The original schedule was posted for college coaches to look at. We've actually got a three-team event going on right now. We're going to rotate. The blue team's going to start in the field. The green team's going to bat right now. The curveball inside for a strike. Yellow team will actually come back and play the field the next inning. We're going to rotate through a three-team scrimmage, so we'll try to keep college coaches updated and abreast on all the changes that are currently on the recruiter's guide.
So Emily Souls is on the mound for the blue team against Abby Poe, left-handed batter. There's a shot down the left field line, a foul ball. Poe with a swing and a miss, strike three.
Now batting, number 7, Sydney Turner.
That'll bring up Sydney Turner for the green team. Right-hand batter. There's a shot to left field. And making the easy out in left field for the blue team is Resnick.
Kayla Gomez for the blue team staying somewhere around 60, 61 usually. Golden Colorado Showcase. Kayla was 61, 62 pretty consistently.
That'll bring up Candace Had. These young ladies have come from all over across the country to Akron this weekend. Fastball just off the outside corner, 1-0.
Candace had one of several Central Texas prospects here this weekend.
There's a shot down to there. A nice diving stop from her knees. The throw in time. What a play down there at third base, Mark.
Kelsey O'Reilly from the EC Bullets, unsigned 2013 prospect. Power hitting third base, makes an excellent catch going to her left. Those from an ease for the out.
That's a great play. So that'll end the top of the first inning as the green team got no runs on a one-base hit, and there were no errors, and they leave one after half an inning. The green team and the blue team, 0-0. We'll have the blue team coming up to bat when we come back for the bottom of the first. And leading off for the blue team here in the bottom of the first out of Chesterfield, Missouri is Miranda Cotton. Pitch is a called strike.
Miranda comes to us from the Midwest Showcase in July from St. Louis, Missouri. Had a real good showing there.
There's a shot over the shortstop's head. That'll be a base hit. Cotton is safe at first.
Miranda showing exactly what she did in St. Louis. Lets the ball get deep. Really good leadoff type hitter. Really projects out to be somebody that's going to hit for a high average, have a high on-base percentage, and really draw a lot of walks. Now it'll be interesting to see how early she's going to try to steal on the Rogers Parish battery.
Riley Rogers on the mound for the yellow team, and that'll bring up Jamie Hank to bat. Hank, catcher out of Porter, Texas. That one's chopped to third. Not in time on the throw to second. Everybody will be safe.
And that's the right play by Kendra Houston. Jamie Hink's going to get down the line in 2.8 seconds. Raw speed. She's an 8 runner for us. That's probably the only play that Houston had on that situation. Brings to the plate Holly Van Choven from Junction, Texas, 2014 power hitting outfielder.
Holly Van Coven comes to the plate. First 2 batters are on, nobody out. Pitch that will be shot to short center or left field, and it'll be a base hit as it bounces in front of the left fielder. Everybody moves up a base, and their bases are loaded with nobody out.
I think the boys probably played that one a little bit carefully with the weather issues we had the last 2 days.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for the outfielders because with all the rain that we've had, Mark.
Absolutely. There's going to be some trouble spots. You'll probably see corner infielders on pop-ups down the lines have a little bit of issues with that with some footing issues, but we expect drier weather a little bit later today.
We'll bring up Dana Horgan with the bases loaded. First pitch is a called strike.
As you look around the bases with Cotton on third, Hank at second, Van Choven at first, a lot of speed on the bases.
Pitch is over but low, 1-1. Infield is in as the play is at the plate. The yellow team defensively. Here's a shot down to third. Nice throw home for the out. And that was a shot that Houston, the third baseman, came up, took it on one hop and fired home for the out. A good play.
Stepping up to the plate, number 8, Sam Nicholson.
We'll bring up Sam Nicholson. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch, strike 1.
And Riley Rogers showing exactly what we saw from her Atlanta. Throws the change up in any count, can pitch backwards if she needs to, throw in the off-speed while she's down in the count. Gives hitters a lot of trouble with timing.
Rogers with the pitch, a fastball right back at her. She makes the catch. It'll be a double play. What a play by Rogers. Great reaction there, Mark, as the line drives. She picks it up, stabs at it, and then the easy throw to third for the double play to end the inning.
Yeah, Hank just already in her 3-step lead from third base and couldn't do anything about it. And, of course, I was just going to talk about Rogers' great defensive presence too, right?
Exactly right. So for the yellow team, no runs on 2 base hits. There was 2 left, and that'll do it for 1 inning. We'll be back with the top of the second right after this. Ball 1. Batting for the yellow team, it's Kenzie Chapelier, left-handed batter.
Kenzie was actually our first 10 grade in running. She attended a showcase at Mercer University in March. Set at what was then the first kid that we have seen run a 2.6 home to first raw speed.
That is quick getting down the line. And the 2-0 from Souls. Sent down to third base line, foul, 2-1.
And really one of the things that has us excited about Kenzie is the fact that when she's one of the few slappers that we see that has the ability to match that raw speed out of the box, doesn't have any wasted motion running through the box. She really sets a good angle, moves herself to first base very efficiently.
Again, we're live from Firestone Stadium in Akron, Ohio for this National High School Showcase. 40 of the best, most talented softball young ladies in the country coming here to Akron this weekend. The 2-1 is wide, 3-1. Souls, the pitcher out of Atlanta, Georgia, got to talk to her dad a little bit during the rain delay. Infield is in, and the 3-1 to Chapelier is wide for ball 4.
Now batting, number 12, Taisha DuBois.
And already we've got one of the best matchups. You've got Bella Norton behind the plate. Bella was actually our top-ranked prospect for about 4 or 5 months straight. Now we get to see if Kenzie's going to try to run on her right away out of the box. Really exciting matchup behind the plate and on the bases.
And here's the pitch to Taisha DuBois. There's a called strike, 0-1.
Norton obviously looking for Chapler to run as well.
Norton came up ready to throw. And the 0-1 from Souls. That'll be shot between the hole between short and third for a solid base hit, Mark.
That's one of the things that you see with Tasha. She does a really good job. A lot of slappers will actually lose their hand position or the crossover position. Tasha stays back, never pulls the ball during the slap, really opens up a lot of options. When you got a runner like Chapler at first base, the shortstop cheats over a little bit. Tasha does a good job of exposing that.
That'll bring up Izzy Barnes.
Izzy out of the Texas Blaze program.
Right-hand batter. Pitch is inside for ball one.
And a screwball definitely is a pitch that Souls throws a lot. For a 2016 graduate, shows a lot of maturity, not afraid to back somebody like Barnes off the plate.
1-0 is a little inside, 2-0, so Souls having a tough time getting the strike zone here. Izzy Barnes with a count in her favor, 2-0. There's a called strike on the inside corner.
And if she'll get that pitch, she'll live there all day.
Yeah, I was going to say, Souls didn't give in to Barnes there. That's a good 2-0 pitch. Nothing Barnes could do with that one.
It's something you don't see a lot of 2016 pitchers or 15s or 14s do is throw the 2-0 pitch on the black and not give in to a hitter like this. It's too dangerous to feed Izzy something over the plate right now.
2-1, another inside pitch and another called strike, and Izzy Barnes doesn't like it. 2-2.
We'll see if Souls goes to one of her. She's got 2 or 3 changeups here she can go through.
Barnes, the batter out of Austin, Texas. That one's inside, 3-2.
And you're seeing from Souls right now what made us like her so much in March. The fact that she's willing to go up against older hitters, really back them off the plate and command the inside half.
Here's the full count pitch. That's hit down the left field line. It's foul. It'll remain 3-2. We'll do it over again. Our director today, Nick Wilkinson. And the men on the cameras today doing a great job. Jeff Matheny and Dangerous Dan Anderson getting the all the shots for you here as you watch this online. These guys have waited through 2 days of rain delays too. There's a shot down the left field line. That is fouling out of play.
And again, that's what makes Souls so difficult to hit. She's not going to give in, throw anything over the plate. And essentially, when she's throwing the screwball, that's all you can do with it. She'll rely on the hitter to keep the barrel back and slow her hands down to hit a lazy fly ball to left field. Izzy's got to keep going to work and just wait for Souls to throw something over the plate here. And
there's a shot down to short. They're going to get the lead runner, but it's dropped by the third baseman where the shortstop had the ball, throw it to the third baseman, Poe, and Poe couldn't come up with it. So an error will load the bases.
Chapler does a really good job there running to the outside of the bag, knowing that she's going to be in the sideline of Candace Hadd at shortstop. It's got to be a tough play. But on the force, the third baseman typically has to put the right foot on the outside of the bag, give the shortstop a throwing lane. Autumn Parrish out of Georgia, one of the best power hitters you'll see. On the workout Thursday, Autumn had no issues with the bigger fence in the NPF. Has always hit the ball well when we've seen her.
Parrish awaits the 1-0. There's a shot to right center field. Racing over into right center field to make that put out is Sherland. And the run will come across as everybody moves up a base. So an RBI for Parrish. Chapelier scores the first run of the day. And Du Bois and Barnes each move up a base.
Parrish coming off of a really successful summer season where she hit 16 home runs in travel ball.
And that'll bring up Ashley Walters. That pitch inside, ball one.
Walters will be equally dangerous in this situation, a type of hitter that's got a lot of power. Could easily see somebody hit a double right here. Ashley also has the ability to put the ball in the air, hit a deep sac fly with really good speed at third base.
Pitch is over for a called strike. It'll leave an account of 1-1.
Souls going with her drop a little bit more there. Starting to give hitters 2 different looks on the inside part of the plate.
And here's the pitch. Just a little bit inside, 2-1. She got that call a couple of times in earlier at bats, but not right there. Walters with a slightly open stance. And the 2-1. That's inside, 3-1 off the mid of the catcher, and here comes Du Bois. She'll score the second run of the inning. So Du Bois scores, Barnes gets to third, and Walters is still up there with a 2-1 count. So Norton wasn't able to come up with that one from Souls.
Barnes at third, runs well for a catcher, so Walter still has plenty of opportunity for a sac fly to score medium or even a little bit, a couple of steps in for some of the arms in the outfield right here.
That one's high for ball 4. That will load the bases. I'm sorry, that's runners at first and third. We're going to have a meeting at the mound as the entire infield will come in. And it'll let us tell you that Amanda Thomas will be the next batter for the yellow team. What can you tell us about Amanda Thomas, Mark?
Amanda Thomas is probably the most versatile player that we've got here this week. We actually entertained the idea of playing Amanda at every single position. You're going to see Amanda pitch this weekend. You'll see her play third. You'll see her play first. She's actually a very accomplished catcher as well. The interesting thing about Amanda is that her velocity recently went up for the pitching side. And that was really the thing that we wanted to see from Amanda, is make sure that she could get with her frame somebody be close to 60 miles an hour, because all the location, all the command was there, the movement was there. Now she's starting to throw with her frame a little bit better.
Souls with the pitch, a called strike, 0-1.
I think Amanda's going to be a really interesting prospect for a lot of players because she really can fill a need, and she's really open to filling a variety of roles at the next level.
Boy, and have that kind of variety for a coach, that's a rare thing. Pitch hit to left field, going back and underneath it and making the catch out in left field is Mitchell. Run will easily score, but a nice play out there by Mitchell in left field. Because, again, these conditions are not ideal for the outfielders.
I think that ball got up in the jet stream we've got going out, from blowing across from right field to left field. Mitchell didn't make any bad moves left or right, just had to go back on that ball a little bit late. Good job of tracking it down.
That'll bring up Darian Ward. Darian out of Marietta, Georgia. Right-hand batter. That one's going to be shot between a hole between short and third. Mitchell, the left fielder, comes up with it. And that'll send Walters down to second base.
Stepping into the batter's box, number 7, Katie Holhouse.
Well, Katie Holhouse will bat. As Souls gets back on the rubber. And her pitch. That's inside, ball 1. So the yellow team here with 3 runs so far this inning, as these 3 teams continue to rotate. That one's going to be chopped off the plate, and it gets through for a base hit. Around third and coming in to score will be Walters, and it's 4-0.
And the ground ball finds the one part of the dirt that's still extremely hard right out in front of the home plate.
Yeah. Nice diving effort by the shortstop, Had, but she wasn't able to come up with it. Candace Had, another young lady from Texas, gave a good effort but couldn't come up with it. Then I'll bring up Kaylee Williams. Called strike.
Soul's starting in the strike zone a lot better now. Starting to get a little bit of the plate early, but good signs to see a young pitcher turning around and start getting ahead in the count and pitching to contact a little bit.
That one's high and outside. It'll even account of a ball and a strike. How hard is it for the players just in general when they sat around yesterday, didn't play? You know, this morning you're waiting, doesn't look like you're going to play. All of a sudden, field's ready, and here you go. Mentally, I would think that's difficult.
Well, from the mental side is that the workout on Thursday, we had a little bit of nerves. The kids came out, worked with the pro players. Pro players did a tremendous job of making sure they got the nerves out, got through the reps, and then to come out yesterday and get canceled out because of the rain. We're dealing with a batch of nerves again a little bit, but the players here are kids that welcome that challenge, that want to be on the big stage, and they're doing what they can and putting themselves in a position where the nerves have to be commanded, and they're doing a good job of doing that. And I think Souls is showing us a good job right now of going through the early inning jitters and really pulling back.
Souls with the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, that one's sent foul into the screen. It'll remain 2-2 to Kaylee Williams. Would that affect pitching more than batting, or is it just up to the individual player how they prepare and work through it?
It's probably up to the individual player. Obviously none of these kids have sat through a situation like that before. Pitchers really got a lot of work in on Thursday. Souls had. It was really interesting to see. She basically had the dream team of pitching coaches working with her early on. Hillary was out there and really working with her, doing a good job of working on some different things. And pitchers got a lot of work in on Thursday. Hitters took good batting practice. Hitters were jumping at the ball and things like that. So really for hitters, it's probably not as effective because now the game speeds up for them and allows them their timing to be a little bit better.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Kaylee Williams.
And
2 on, 2 out.
And the other thing that might affect our pitchers a little bit here is they're working with catchers who are calling pitches for them. And in a lot of instances, they're working with catchers they haven't worked with previously.
Mm-hmm. Inside ball 4, the bases are loaded.
Up next for the yellow team, number 9, Shannon Hughes.
Going to bring up Shannon Hughes. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 4 runs are in so far this inning. And there's a called strike. And I guess for the college coaches that are watching, that they want to see how the young ladies are going to react because they're going to be put in all kinds of different situations at that next level that mentally they've got to be prepared for to go through anything.
Well, really, the toughest thing that they have to try to project when they're looking at athletes is how they handle those situations. As Hughes hits a hard liner off the third baseman's glove.
Yeah, real hard line drive off the glove of Poe. A base hit, and everybody's safe. Another run will score.
And really for coaches, having to try to predict or project how a kid's going to handle the pressure is really the difference maker in a lot of different players. If they've seen a kid on that stage and they know they can get the job done, it really helps them commit to that athlete a little bit better. And they try to typically look for players that are obviously competing on a national stage and competing against good competition and with the pressure situations.
Pitch to Kendra Houston is outside, ball 1. Kendra, a third baseman in the 2013 class out of Topeka, Kansas. There's a shot in the short left field. Mitchell running in, and she'll make the catch. Well, that's a nice running put out by Mitchell in left field, Mark.
Mitchell might be our highest rated defensive outfielder glove-wise. She takes pure angles to the ball, doesn't get beat on a lot of plays, and obviously in these situations that you can't allow yourself to take a bad step at all because you might lose your footing.
We're going to move to head to the bottom half of the second inning. When we come back, we're live from Firestone Stadium in Akron, Ohio. It'll be Bella Norton leading things off here. Pitch is a called strike, 0-1. That would be Nichols on the mound for the blue team, Mark.
Blue, we've got Kayla Gomez throwing out of Lemoore, California.
That one's fouled into the screen. Pitch, off-speed pitch, called strike 3. Norton is out on strikes.
Gomez showing a differential. Most of her movement pitches so far today have been between 60 to 61. Threw that changeup in at 42 miles an hour. A pitch that we didn't see her command like that in Golden, Colorado, but obviously a very effective pitch on Norton, who's a very accomplished young hitter.
I bring up Chelsea Segrin out of Taylor, Texas. There's a called strike right down the middle, 0-1. And the 0-1. That's inside 1-1. Looks like she's got a lot on the fastball.
Absolutely. And Chelsea's somebody that can really turn around good. If she comes inside, Chelsea's going to have it.
And the 0-1. That's low. 2-1. Gets away from the catcher, but with nobody on base, that doesn't matter. On deck, we have Erica Davis.
Chelsea, one of several representatives out of the Texas Blaze program out of Austin, Texas. Good-looking 2016 prospect. Can pitch a little bit, can play some short.
And the 2-1. It's inside and high, 3-1. Kayla Gomez out of Lemoore, California on the mound. 2013 class. Very tall young lady at 5'11".
Yeah, and especially the way that she's built right now. She's very projectable. She's going to throw harder.
There's a shot to right field. It's going to be a base hit. That'll fall in front of the right fielder, Horgan. And there's one on and one out.
Stepping up to the plate, number 8, Erica Davis.
Going to bring up Erica Davis. Erica Davis out of Cumming, Georgia. The 2014 class, right-hand batter. That one's wide off the outside part of the plate, 1-0.
It's interesting watching pitchers like Gomez and Souls throw. Gomez more of a horizontal plane pitcher, throwing with the screw and the curveball.
Shot to left center field for a base hit. Solid hit that time, marked by Erica Davis.
You know, Davis is the type of hitter, doesn't try to do too much at the plate, lets the ball get deep, understands what she is. She's a type of kid that's going to hit more doubles than home runs, tries to keep the ball into the big part of the field, stays back, does a nice job. Tia Mitchell going to bat from the right side here. She does have the ability to slap from the left side. Seeing this as more of a run-producing situation and moving runners over.
We've seen Mitchell in left field. Let's see what she can do at the plate. It's a ground ball to third and to put out on the lead runner unassisted. So good job by O'Reilly down there at third as she makes the put out.
Next up to the plate,
So that's a fielder's choice. Mitchell will be safe at first. Segren was out going to third. Pitch is a called strike.
Taylor Bradley out of the Atlanta Flames program, teammates of Grace Packer, who we'll see pitch here shortly. We saw Taylor have a good showing at shortstop and behind the plate in Atlanta Showcase in July.
There's a shot to left field, and it is going to fall just foul.
And you notice even on that play, Mitchell was about 4 steps around second base, so she's definitely a type of runner that gets on bases, is aggressive, looking to score on a double.
All these young ladies to get here have been playing all through the summer at various showcases to get to this point, Mark?
Right. The process for us is regional and national showcases where the players come out, work out in front of our scouts, and we select the best players from those events to come out here. So each one of these kids had a really tough road, and we're about 40 selected. I've about 800 players to be here this year.
Boy, what a great off-speed pitch by Gomez to get out of the inning. And after 2, it's 5-0. We'll be back. To right field. Resnick with a base hit.
And that's why we do it, to make sure they get advantage to hit. Resnick shows a good job of going with the pitch, letting the ball get deep, something that we've seen her do a couple of times, and obviously that at bat shows that she's getting more mature with the approach.
Going to bring up Kelsey O'Reilly to bat. O'Reilly out of Roswell, Georgia. Pitch is a called strike by Riley Rogers.
Kelsey's made a couple of good defensive plays already today. One of the interesting things about Kelsey, she's actually one of the few kids that you'll see out of your Big 12 and SEC regions that are okay with going out of state. We see a lot of kids with a lot of Texas and Georgia kids, they like to stay local. However, Kelsey's a kid that's really willing to go anywhere at this point. Still an unsigned third baseman. We've obviously made her make a couple of good plays already.
The 0-2 pitch, wide and high, 1-2 to Kelsey O'Reilly. The pitch, that's off the plate, outside, 2-2.
Kelsey, a product of the EC Bullets program out of Georgia.
Riley Rogers with the 2-2, inside, 3-2. Riley out of Conyers, Georgia, in the 2013 class. These young ladies have come from all across the country to Northeast Ohio for this weekend. There's a shot to center field for a solid base hit. Quickly getting that ball in.
Kenzie Chapler shows that she's not just a runner. She's got a good arm, too. She's 64 overhand, 2.6 runner. Really is a center field package.
Number 5, Melanie
Chapelier almost made that a fielder's choice.
She did.
That'll bring up Melanie Marteri. First two batters are on for the blue team, and that pitch is high and inside, 1-0. So rotating the three teams so we can get as many kids, as many at-bats as possible in these games with the rain wiping out yesterday and a little bit of it this morning.
And the change to the game schedules for today with the three teams is we're playing hour 45-minute games. It started here about 11 o'clock Eastern time. We'll take a break after an hour and 45 minutes, come back and play another hour 45-minute game this afternoon. At the conclusion of the Racers and Bandits tonight, we're going to put the remaining players back on the field after that under the lights and continue playing into the evening.
It looks like you've obviously been able to make the best of a bad situation. Nothing you can do, but you've made the best of it.
Joey Arity has been a superstar on this. She's worked the field from 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to get it playable, and we can finally start to see what Color the Dirt's supposed to look like now thanks to her hard work.
And you don't want to believe me, but it has been a hot and dry summer all summer in Northeast Ohio. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. That one's chopped foul. It'll remain 2-2.
Good job of spoiling the pitcher's pitch right there.
Firestone Stadium, this is the home of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The state championships are played here, so we get to see the best teams in the state of Ohio play here the first weekend in June every year.
You know, Joey does a really good job of making sure that she brings in different events to really provide exposure. And the thing that's been really neat for these kids is to see the professional game, to be up close with the players, to have that interaction. And for a lot of players, there's not one Ohio player in the All-American games, but for them to see professional softball and to be so close to it and how intimate that they've been with presenting the product to us is that it allows the kids to know how it is.
There's a hit right back to Rogers. She'll go to first for the sure out. A run will score.
And early in that bat, you can see that Marteri was willing to hit the ball the other way, hit a ground ball up the middle of the score run with Garland back at second base, and to make sure that she's just sitting back trying to make a productive out, and if it scores a run, it scores a run. We expect Melanie's going to be more of a power hitter as she gets a little bit older. One of 2 catchers from the Vienna Stars program here with us this week, as they're obviously loaded with catching talent in the Vienna Stars program.
That'll bring up Elizabeth Aguilar, called strike.
Aguilar, the lone Arizona representative. We saw Elizabeth last October in the underclass showcase in Houston.
That one's chopped foul, 0-2. So basically you're at showcase tournaments for most weekends in the summer?
This coming up in the fall and the spring next year, I believe we have, I think we're somewhere around 28 to 30 showcase events. The new process for us is that these kids could have been pulled out of any event that we've done. Upcoming in the fall and next spring, essentially the kids will be going through a regional showcase in their area, which will feed to a national showcase, at which point we'll pull 3 or 4 teams for the All-American games from the national showcase. This is Aguilar.
Aguilar chops one into left field for a base hit and an RBI single.
And O'Reilly continues to do the little things that make a difference with her. Even at the ball at third, she held up for a little bit to make sure the ball was over. Didn't get herself into a situation where she was in front of the third baseman with the ball in her hand, easy for a rundown.
We'll bring up Penny Nichols. Nichols out of Orange City, Florida. Aguilar at first, 1 out. One's off the plate wide, ball 1. Rogers trying to work out of trouble here in the top of the third.
Penny Nichols earned her way here from Claremont, Florida last January. Had a really good showing at the National Training Center. Penny hit a 3-run homer at her first at bat in January and threw very well in the game. She's a 2015 pitcher. Has one of the best rise balls we've seen.
That one's inside for ball 4. Well, I guess I was ahead of the scoreboard. It's 3-0.
Or look, your umpire to get hit in the back of the head on that one.
Right. So Rogers on the mound here in the top of the third. Kayla Gomez on deck. Penny Nichols out of Florida is the right-hand batter with a 3-0 count in her favor. Aguilar is the base runner at second base. There's a called strike. It's 3-1.
Rogers and Paris teammates during travel ball, so they're obviously familiar with each other. So gives her the ability to try to hit that spot, and Paris to know what to call in that 3-0 count to not give in to Nichols.
And that one's ball 4, and it'll put runners at first and second. 2 runs in the inning, 1 out. And that'll bring up the pitcher from the blue team.
Number 1,
Kayla Gumness. Again, young lady out of Lemoore, California, right-hand batter. That one way wide, 1-0, and Rogers having a hard time finding the strike zone here of late. Gomez will step back in. Shoots that one foul into the screen behind home plate, 1-1.
You know, Rogers is a very rare pitcher that she's a type of kid that could actually go to her off speed or a changeup right now and commands that just as well, so you can never really sit on a pitch. Might be a reason we saw Gomez late on that pitch.
And you mentioned that these pitchers that we've been seeing, a lot of them like to pitch backwards.
Mm-hmm.
There's an off-speed pitch that's hit well by Gomez into left center field, and that one's going to be hit right in front of the fence. Aguilar will score. Stopping at third is Nichols, and it's our first 2-base hit of the day.
And Nichols pretty wise to stop there. Sharona McDonald holding her at third base. Shannon Hughes with a 60-mile-an-hour overhand velocity. Would have had an easy time making that throw and plenty of arm to get it there on time.
Now back to the top of the order for the blue team, and Miranda Cotton. She had a base hit to lead off the ball game. She'll swing and foul tap that into the mid of Parrish, the catcher, 0-1.
And Cotton showing there what a lot of leadoff hitters have trouble doing is actually going from leadoff, get-on-base type hitter to somebody that's looking to drive in a run.
Mm-hmm.
When you have Cotton at the plate when there's nobody on base or there's one out and she's leading off, she's the type of kid that's going to work the count and try to get on base. With the runner at second and third, that's the first time I've ever seen her swing at a first pitch, and she attacked it too.
Here's a shot down to second. The throw to first for the out as Garland at second base makes that put out on the throw to Thomas. The run will score. There's 2 outs now in the inning. And that'll bring up Jamie Hank, who was safe on an error on the third baseman back in the first inning. Runner at third, 2 out. The pitch. It's wide, ball 1. And Rob Polinsky here with you today, along with Mark Mulvaney. Our director is Nick Wilkinson, and the guys doing the hard work with the cameras, Jeff Matheny and Dangerous Dan Anderson. Pitch high and wide, 2-0.
As you can see by Rogers' reaction, she's obviously not used to throwing balls when she throws her changeup.
Yep. There's a shot over the second baseman's head, but a nice running catch out in short right field by Garland, and that'll end the inning. That's a nice over-the-shoulder catch by Garland. So for the blue team to get 4 runs in the inning, we'll go to the bottom of the third right after this. Bottom of the third, Mason Garland, who made that great play to end the top of the third, will come up to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. She'll be followed by Riley Rogers, and then back to the top of the order in Kenzie Chapelier. First pitch is a called strike by Souls.
Mason Garland's still coming off a wrist injury that is getting better. Real more of a doubles type hitter right now, but starting to show a little bit more power. She, starting to get about 90% healthy with the wrist. Type of kid that will probably hit a few home runs as she gets a little bit older.
Souls with the pitch inside and low, 2-0. You saw Souls going to that inside corner earlier in the game, and she got a lot of those inside pitches called for strikes. 2-0 to Mason Garland. She'll rip that into left center field. Look at Mitchell cover that ground and make a sliding catch. She can cover a lot of territory in left field, Mark.
Well, the biggest thing that she does is she doesn't make any mistakes during the angle to the ball. If she makes one bad move on that ball, she doesn't get to it, and that ball's through to the fence for a double. Good job by Tia.
Number 2, Riley Rogers.
I'll bring up Riley Rogers, her first at-bat of this morning's session. You mentioned that Mitchell might be the best outfielder here today, and she hasn't done anything to disappoint so far.
Well, these kids try to make me look smart every now and then. I appreciate it.
Souls with the 1-0. That's inside, 2-0.
And Mitchell makes Garland involved in two of the best defensive plays that we've seen today on back-to-back pitches pretty much.
Souls out of the Atlanta, Georgia area with the pitch. That one shot to deep right field, and it's up against the wall at the base of the fence. Rogers will cruise into second with a stand-up double.
Real good job by Erica Davis that time on her spacing to receive the relay throw. Anytime a ball gets over the right fielder's head, we want to make sure that we're not crowding them. We want to make sure they make a long throw so we can allow the shortstop to come back and trail the play if we need to.
Bartlett was racing back in right field, but she couldn't get there fast enough. And that'll bring up Kenzie Chapelier, who walked and scored back in the first inning.
It just sets up an interesting situation because Chapelier can do so many things with the bat from the left side that she really puts the defense out of position should Riley decide she's probably not going to steal third base. But in a normal game where we'd have a pinch runner in for our pitcher, it really set up an interesting situation there.
Rogers at second with one out. The infield partially in at second and third. There's a slap back to the screen. Foul ball, 1-1. In at third base is Poe. She's in several steps from the third base bag. And at second, that's Davis.
And one of the things to note for coaches here that while the games are coached by the Racers player, that defensive alignments and choices such as Sherlin shading towards the left side here with the slapper and Mitchell playing in, those are things that these kids are deciding on their own, and that's what we like to show people is what is the aptitude of the athlete. Not only can they play physically, but what are they doing on their own.
That one's sent down the third base line, and it is a foul ball. Straddling the line there at third was Poe, and that ball ruled foul. And I think that's one of those things that's probably difficult to measure as well, isn't it, for a coach to know just how smart is a player and what can they do on their own with always having to be told.
Well, absolutely, and then to pull the player from the travel team and put them in a situation where they get a little uncomfortable with how things are done.
That one's sent down to Poe. She'll fire to first in time for the out.
To put them in those types of situations where they have to see the kid purely on instinct, because when it comes down to pressure situation and big stages, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go back to their instincts, and a coach can't manufacture a player's instincts, so they have to see him in situations like that. Du Bois is an interesting hitter here because she started to swing the bat a little bit better, not be a slap-only prospect.
She'll hit that one foul into the screen. 0-1. She singled and scored back in the first inning. Du Bois out of Stockbridge, Georgia. The 2013 class. She'll step back in. Runner at third, 2 out. Souls with the pitch. That one sent foul into the screen, 0-2. These two young ladies both out of Georgia. The pitching and batting matchup here. I would think a lot of these kids know each other from all the traveling that they do.
Yeah, we try to keep them in. We try to keep pitcher-catcher combinations similar if they've come from an event where they know each other, to try to use some of that chemistry to let them to kind of gel together a little bit in unfamiliar situations.
The 0-2 is high, 1-2.
What these athletes really don't have an issue with playing with different players because they know how the game's played. That's why they're here. They can easily adapt to situations. Types of experience that help kids go into a college program their freshman year and adapt to inter squads right away and things like that.
Du Bois choking up. The left-hand batter awaits the 1-2. That's high and wide, 2-2. Souls on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's just a little wide, ball 3.
Emily's still staying around 61 miles an hour right now. Has been as high as 64 miles an hour last July.
Pitch will be chopped down to third to Poe. She has plenty of time, and she'll gun out the runner at first. Poe with a good arm. We saw it twice that inning, Mark. She's got a great arm down there at third.
Abby's 63-mile-an-hour arm was up to 64 as late as January. Has done a good job. She's actually coming back from a slight knee injury and shows no signs of slowing down. Everything looks healthy. We're very happy with her recovery and picked up right where she left off.
We will return with the top of the 4th inning. Blue team here in the 4th inning as she faces Madison Bartlett. Pitch, that one will be sent foul. It's 0-2. So we have some rotations of the players. Aguilar now on the mound. Elizabeth out of Peoria, Arizona. The 0-2, that one's going to be sent to short on one hop. The quick throw to first. Gomez, the new first baseman, came off the bag on the throw from Heckert. So we've got
Next up, number 14, Nikki Blanton.
pop up to center field, and there's one out. As in center field is Hank for the out.
Now batting, number 4, Shelby Edwards.
We'll bring up Shelby Edwards.
And coaches will note on the online stream and the recruiters guide that they have access to, you'll see some of the positions have changed with a 3-team setup, but most are updated.
So Shelby Edwards comes to the plate with one out here in the top of the 4th inning as we rotate these 3 teams through. Aguilar now on the mound. That one's high, ball 1. There's a shot that'll be on one hop to the shortstop, throw to first in time for the out.
And that's what makes Dana Horgan an exciting shortstop, the ability to make secondary plays on the run. And if she has to go into the hole, she's also a shortstop with a 68-mile-an-hour arm, so she's got plenty of arm for the position. It just showed really dynamic speed right there, too.
Bring up Grace Packer for the first time today at the plate. That one's wide, ball 1.
Grace, a left-handed pitcher and outfielder, plays for the same Atlanta Flames program that Taylor Bradley plays with. You'll see those two working as a battery here very soon.
Packer, a left-hand batter. That one's wide, 2-0.
And you'll see Penny Nichols in the circle throw through 3 or 4 different speeds. She's a 2015 kid that throws 57 miles an hour typically. her rise ball actually goes just a touch slower, so you see a lot of hitters get out front on the rise ball, but it actually moves so different that you'll see a lot of swings and misses. And so you'll look at her curveball, they'll be able to get on kids' hands. You'll see her screwball that's a little bit harder than her curveball, and the rise ball actually slows down a touch and really puts hitters off balance. And what we look for in grading pitchers out is things that are different about them that make it hard for hitters to adjust to, which is what the game's all about.
Throw down to third base, getting in time underneath the tag is Bartlett. So Packer now with a 3-1 count in her advantage.
Good job of Bartlett reading the changeup right there and making sure that when she saw the ball down, she stayed in her strides going to third base, and the option was to stop, not to go. She's already going. Good job.
There's a called strike, 3-2. Well, Nichols trying to work out of a jam here in the top of the fourth. Called strike 3, she does just that. So Packer is called out on strikes, and that will do it in the fourth inning. And we will move ahead as the yellow team will be on defense when we come back. Vancoven to lead off for the blue team here. The bottom of the seventh inning, it'll be Holly Vancoven, Dana Horgan, and Sam Nicholson for the blue team. And they'll be facing the yellow team's pitcher, which is Kaylee Williams out of Austin, Texas.
There's a lot of Texas Blaze at the plate right now. Holly, a member of the 18 gold team. Izzy Barnes, a member of the 18 gold team. Williams, a recent addition to Texas Blaze this past summer.
That one shot foul, 0-1.
Williams had a really good showing at the Dallas Southwest Showcase, where she really was probably the top pitcher at the event. She was graded out as probably the third or fourth best pitcher leading up to that event and really had an outstanding showing there.
Off-speed pitch is high and wide, 1-1.
Kaylee throws a knuckle change that she can really, like Riley Rogers, throws in any count, has really relied on that pitch to set her other stuff up and really disrupt timing.
Vancoven has a base hit in her first at-bat. It'll bounce in. It's 2-1.
And with Izzy Barnes behind the plate, you wouldn't expect to see anything else but that. Just smothering a changeup, not worried about putting the glove on it, just putting chest protector down to the ground and making sure it stays in front of her.
The 2-1. That one's, I believe, foul tip, 2-2.
And you can see the immediate impact of throwing two changeups in a row that when Holly got to her stride, she immediately thought changeup first and something hard second, put a little bit of hitch in her timing and did its job.
Williams looks into Barnes for the call. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That's just a matter of a good pitcher taking out a good hitter with disrupting timing.
Now Horgan will come up, Dana Horgan. She was safe on a fielder's choice back in the first inning.
Dana Horgan.
Dana Horgan out of Fayetteville, Georgia. 2013 class, the pitch, high, ball 1. I've noticed an awful lot of these players are from Georgia and Texas. Any rhyme or reason, or just a hotbed for softball at the high school level?
Our regions right now that we serve the Southwest a lot. We're based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we see a lot of players from Texas. The regions that we have expanded into have been the Southeast and the Midwest. So we've been to places like Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. We've been to Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma. Made a trip to Colorado this summer. The regional showcase and national showcase schedule next year will expand quite a bit to incorporate a lot of different regions. And obviously with this event being in the Northeast, it helps to expand. We've got Philadelphia on the schedule a couple of times next year. And the biggest thing that we're trying to prove to everyone is that talent is talent and that good kids exist everywhere. And it doesn't matter where you're from, but to give kids a chance to be on the stage no matter where they're from.
2-1, the pitch swung on and missed, 2-2. Do you see any differences? Is there any, between where players are from necessarily, or?
Categorically, there's some things that stand out. You can see some weather-related things, such as we've seen a lot of pitchers from the Midwest that, compared to some of your warmer states, the kids may have.
When sent down to third, the throw almost dug out nicely at first, but safe at first is Horgan.
You know, some of the Midwest pitchers that we've seen, they may have one or two less actual pitches than other pitchers just because of being indoors a lot and things like that. Just sometimes the speed of the development, but the athletes are no different.
Okay.
The willingness to do what's necessary is no different.
Yeah, it was Houston at third base, and trying to dig that one out at first was Thomas. Almost did it. Swinging a miss, strike one to Sam Nicholson, who lined into an inning-ending double play in her first at-bat.
And little things with Amanda Thomas, you see Amanda try to dig a ball out of the dirt. As soon as she knew the ball was not going to be dug, you saw the right hand pop up like she was trying to barehand the ball.
There's a shot down the third base line for a base hit. Coming up with it out in left field is Ward. She'll get it in quickly. And there are two runners on for the blue team at first and second.
Now batting, number 6, Jennifer Resnick.
Nicholson, one of the top kids from Iowa right now. We saw her in St. Louis last October. Had a really good showing at second base. Very smooth at second base. Starting to show that she can pull the ball with a little bit of power, too.
Resnick, the batter. She'll line that one to the second baseman. And making an unassisted double play is Garland. We've seen Garland make a couple of nice plays out there. A very heady player at second base for the yellow team. And that is going to end the bottom of the fourth inning. And we'll be back with the top of the fifth after this. Barnes getting set to bat here in the top of the fifth inning of our high school showcase. 40 of the best players in the country for softball have made their way to Northeast Ohio, to Akron, Ohio, to play at Firestone Stadium. Along with Mark Mulvaney, I'm Rob Polinsky. And the first pitch to Izzy Barnes is a called strike. Tell us about the new pitcher on the mound, Sagren.
Sagren's really exciting 2016 pitcher. Just going to be a freshman there. She came to Dallas the first time we'd seen her in June. Had a really good showing, 60 miles an hour. Moves the ball pretty well. And interesting enough, probably her top tool.
One bounces in, 1-1.
We'll see if Izzy comes back to bat. I guarantee you she will. Count will start over now for Izzy Barnes. And interesting enough about Chasey Sagren, probably her top two is the fact that she hits for average very well. And we'll see her play a little bit of shortstop today. You'll see her pitch a little bit. Typically, she's just a pretty good athlete.
And she will be a freshman in high school.
Absolutely.
Sagren's pitch. That one's ripped into left field. It's just foul. Boy, Izzy Barnes with probably the hardest hit ball of the day.
No, Izzy had a really good summer, and she shows signs of definitely not slowing down.
Izzy Barnes in the 2014 class. She's out of Austin, Texas.
Izzy's one of the kids that we do not plan on seeing here next year. We expect her to be committed sometime during the fall or early next year. Very sought after Texas catching prospect.
And the 0-1. Barnes will watch that one bounce in, 1-1. Nice stop by Edwards behind the plate.
And one of the things you notice with Izzy, even when the changeup comes, unlike a lot of hitters, Izzy doesn't make any actions to jump at the pitch. She reads it early, picks it up early.
1-1 is high and wide, 2-1.
Izzy never gets into a position she can't recover from as a hitter. Doesn't drop the hands, doesn't put any slack in her swing, keeps the hands back, and really reads the ball well.
That one's ripped down the third base line. It's a base hit. It'll be more than that as it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Around first is Barnes heading into second, and she'll stop there with a leadoff double. Now the throw gets away, and Barnes is going to head to third. So the relay throw was got away from the third baseman, Blanton, and that enables Barnes to get to third.
Izzy with a pretty harsh greeting for the new third baseman.
Now batting, number 5, Autumn Parrish.
No doubt about that. That'll bring up Autumn Parrish, who had a sacrifice fly and RBI. She had a sacrifice fly to center field in the first inning. Autumn Parrish with another opportunity for an RBI. Takes a look at a called strike.
Autumn, as we talked about earlier, 16 home runs this summer and just over 100 at-bats. Probably the hitter you'd want up in this situation with a runner at third and nobody out, with a catcher with plus speed at third base.
The 0-1. It's high, ball one. It'll even the count at 1-1. So ball and a strike. That on the outside corner. Boy, a nice pitch as Sagren painted that outside corner 1-2.
She went with her drop curve that time. That's probably her best pitch. Velocity-wise, that's the pitch she can throw 60 miles an hour.
There's an off-speed pitch that'll even account at 2-2. Barnes at third, nobody out. We're in the top of the fifth inning as the three teams continue to rotate. That one's sent into short left field.
Looks like she's going.
And it goes off the mid of the left fielder. That'll let Barnes score. In the second base on the air is Parrish, but that ball hit a mile high. Run will score. And a tough play out there in the left field for Bartlett. She's unable to make that catch.
Now batting number 6, Ashley Walters.
That'll bring up Ashley Walters, who walked and scored her last at bat. Bounces in for ball one. Nice stop again by the catcher, Mark. Edwards has done a good job making a couple of stops here on pitches from Sagren this inning.
I think the pitcher-catcher combination right now, Sager and Edwards, are going to be two kids that they talk about in Central Texas for a long time. Really good catching prospect, power hitter, good arm, obviously good blocking ability.
Pitch is high, ball 2-0.
Ashley Walters at the plate, also from the Texas Blaze program, which has done a tremendous job of producing a lot of Division I kids in the last several years. And not only do they do a good job of developing that.
Bounces in for ball 3, and heading down to third is Parrish.
The Texas Blaze has done a good job of actually producing talent that's exceeded at the collegiate level as well. And it's evident by having several players in this event, that's exactly, we feel like, from a scouting perspective, that their players are developing it, they're doing the things they need to be successful for us to bring them here.
Pitch on the fastball, called strike. It'll go to 2-1 on the count as the green team defensively looking for their first out of this top of the fifth inning.
Walter's doing a good job of laying off a pitcher's pitch right there and making sure she gets something a little fatter to try to drive in a run with.
And that's ball 4. So runners at first and third.
Now batting number 3, Amanda Thomas.
They'll bring up Amanda Thomas, who had a sacrifice fly RBI back in the first inning. In that first inning, the yellow team was able to plate 5 runs. They have scored 6 runs today in their at-bats. Pitches a called strike, 0-1.
And the learning curve for Sager is going to be working off the drop curve and having secondary pitches that allow her to really work off of that and complement. A screwball would be an obvious setup pitch too.
That one's sent to short left center field. Mitchell, who we've seen play a great game today, makes the catch and fires it home. Boy, a nice play by Mitchell in left center field. And Mark, not only can she cover ground, look at that arm out there.
Oh, notice she took a nice long hop to the plate with it, threw a one-hop strike, led the catcher to the left side of the plate, put Autumn in her tracks right there. Did a good job.
Number 13, Darian Ward.
I think you have to be impressed today defensively with the play of Tia Mitchell out of Clarksburg, Maryland. She's in the 2015 class. So that she would be a sophomore in high school this fall?
Yeah, she'll be a sophomore this coming school year.
Wow. Called strike. Good luck to teams that have to play against Clarksburg, Maryland the next 3 years.
We'll actually get to see Tia play a little bit of second base later on too, where she's going to cover a lot of ground.
Darian Ward, the batter. Count is even at a ball and a strike.
But Tia shows you exactly why that for us to grade a kid out that has center field tools at the next level and skill set, it takes a lot of those types of things. You've got to have raw speed and arm strength, but
that one hop back to the pitcher, throw to short for 1, back to first, not in time. But nice reaction that time.
That's a good
by
play
Sagren.
and that's a good play by a young pitcher, making sure that when she gets the ball, understands the situation, leads the shortstop over the bag. You don't see a lot of 2016 pitchers that haven't attended one day of high school yet be able to do things like that.
Right.
That's why we like her a lot.
The run did score on that fielder's choice. And now you got a runner at first with 2 outs in the inning. And that will bring to the plate Katie Holhouse. 2-0. That one's high and wide. Not everybody in the stands here in agreement with the home plate umpire on that one. You'll have that.
Especially those with the last name Sagern, probably.
Probably. Katie Holhouse will hit that one into right center field, but Tia Mitchell camps underneath it. And wherever Mitchell is, you don't want to hit the ball.
Oh,
that we know.
I think you went ahead and started marking the out down as soon as the ball was hit and you saw where it was going, right?
Exactly right. So a couple of runs in the top of the 5th inning, and we're going to move to the bottom of the 5th. Again, we're live from Firestone Stadium, home of the Akron Racers. Called strike as the blue team on the mound. Nichols is the pitcher, going up against Emily Souls, who we saw her pitch earlier today for the green team. This is Emily's first at bat today, 0-1. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2. Nichols, her second inning of work, I should say, on the mound. Emily out of Orange City, Florida. That 0-2 pitch is hit foul. It'll remain 0-2.
Just got away with the change up there over the inside half of the plate.
You're watching the All-American Games, part of the Fastpitch Scouting Report All-American Games, the finals here at Akron, Ohio, Firestone Stadium. That one will bounce in 1-2. Along with Mark Mulvaney, I'm Rob Polinsky. We'll have games throughout the afternoon, possibly into the evening as well, as the weather has cleared up finally. Pitch is wide, 2-2. And I'll bet you, Mark, if you ever come back to Northeast Ohio, no matter when it is, you'll pack a sweatshirt.
I will bring sweatpants, a couple of hoodies, a jacket. It had been about 9 months since I've been outside and cold.
2-2, a swing and a miss, strike 3. Souls is the first out of the 5th inning.
Got a lot of very warm weather state kids here today, especially the Georgia and Texas kids that are enjoying doing this. I know a lot went to a Cleveland Indians game last night. We actually a little bit chilly up there, which was nice.
Right. Pitch is a high pitch. Ball 1 to Kiera Serland, who had a single in her first at-bat today.
Kiana's been a player that a lot of major programs have tracked this summer, has had a really good summer with the Vienna Stars. And the scary part about what Kiana is doing is that she's coming up on about a year of batting left-handed.
Wow.
It took her about 2 months to tie the home-to-first record that Kinsey Chapelier off the yellow team set. Kiana's a 2-6 runner.
That one hit to short right field. It's going to bounce in front of the right fielder Vancouver for a base hit. So Vancouver couldn't quite get
Next
there.
Up, number 10, Abby Poe.
I'll bring up Abby Poe, who was a strikeout victim back in the first inning, back when Gomez was on the mound. She's now at first base for the blue team.
And now we've got the matchup of Melly Martiri behind the plate from the Vienna Stars with the runner at first from Vienna Stars. Let's see if she tries to steal on her teammate.
There's a base hit to left field. Won't get to see that opportunity. His first pitch swinging was Abby Poe. Puts it into left field, so the first 2 runners at the bottom of the 5th inning are on. That'll bring up Sydney Turnus.
Number 7, Sydney Turner.
Sydney Turner. She flew out to left field in her first at-bat.
Sydney had a good showing last October, Chattanooga, Tennessee at a showcase. Teammates of Erica Davis, also in the All-American games.
Called strike, 0-1. As
Sydney.
Nichols gets out in front.
Sydney shows a lot of leadoff characteristics that you don't see a lot of power hitters do. She's very easy power at the plate, very short to the ball, reads it really well, can hit it to all fields.
The 0-1, an off-speed pitch off the corner will even account at 1-1. Sydney Turner, tall right-hand batter. And here's the 1-1. That's lifted foul and out of play. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
And Penny Nichols showing exactly why she's at the event, the ability that every pitch is a different speed. And it's one of the things that when you see pitchers doing those things, that a lot of pitching coaches at times will try to get every movement pitch to be max velocity, but as you see, it makes Penny very effective.
Here's another off-speed pitch. It'll be sent to right field. Vancouver comes up with it. Throw to the plate will not be in time to run scores. So Sherlin scores on the RBI base hit off the bat of Sydney Turner. And scampering down to third is Abby Poe. So 3 consecutive singles for the green team in the bottom of the 5th inning.
The thing that Nichols is going to have to do with the changeup, though, is try to be deceptive with it and throw it from similar posture as everything else. She gets real straight with the arm and reaches on it a little bit.
Candace Had comes up, takes a look at a called strike. Kansas, another young lady out of Texas, shortstop in the 2015 class. And that one will be sent foul into the screen, just to the right of home plate.
You'll see Candace move a little bit between shortstop and third base today, mixing a little bit of outfield too. Had a really good showing in Dallas at the Southwest Showcase this summer. Had shortened up the swing quite a bit. Balance looked a lot better. Some of the questions we had about her in January, she answered those and addressed those things and really made a lot of good improvement.
Pitch is wide, 1-2. And the 1-2 from Nichols. High, 2-2 on that rise ball. Good job on not offering at it by Candace Had.
Double play ball will stay in order here as with runners at first base and third base. We make sure that the runner at first doesn't take off to second. We like to showcase the kids' ability to turn a double play ball if we can.
That one will bounce in and away from the catcher, Malteri. And the scoring from third on that wild pitch will be Abby Poe.
Yama's showing pretty good communication right there, communicating to Martiri to stay at the plate while she tracks down the ball. Martiri responded, went back to the plate.
Those are those little things you were talking about before, maybe a little bit that not every player is going to do, but just to have the smarts to know how to do that sort of thing.
Right, and especially to see a player that's mainly a pitcher at first base have that comfort level of communicating with the catcher in any situation speaks highly of how they're going to be able to work together at the next level.
Grounder to short to Horgan. She'll fire to first for the out. That's the first out of the inning.
Get a good look at Dana's arm right there, 68 miles an hour.
Heading to third on the throw is Sydney Turner. That'll bring up Bella Norton.
Number 6, Bella Norton.
Norton probably one of the most anticipated prospects for coaches to watch right now online.
Bella struck out in her first at bat. Takes a look at a called strike. Bella in the 2016 class out of McLean, Virginia. And the pitch. That's high. 1-1. 2 runs are in. Sydney Turner at third, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. As again, our 3 teams today, the blue teams, yellow team, green team. 3 teams due to the weather and what we have to do here today, rotating all 3 teams to give them an equal opportunity. So you don't have a true score per se. It's outside 2-1.
And it's interesting to watch a kid like Norton that even stepping into the box and taking a pitch, the kid has good presence at the plate. That's something very rare, and you don't see it hardly at all in kids that are just beginning a freshman year of high school.
There's a called strike off the corner, 2-2. When Nichols benefit on that call. And Bella Norton will step back in. Takes a couple of practice swings. And here's Nichols with the 2-2. Swung on, that's hit foul down the third base line. It will remain 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Norton does a good job there of not slowing the barrel or lagging the barrel too much to try to hit that as a fair ball. One of the things we look for in really good hitters that project to hit for average and power is that taking what the pitcher gives you and not trying to be overly creative with it. For instance, right there, she gets a hard screwball in on the hands, just hits it foul, doesn't worry about keeping it fair, lives to see another pitch. That's what it's all about.
And the 2-2. That'll bounce in it. 3-2. Norton getting rid of her bat. Thought that was ball 4. It is not. So it'll take a minute here for Bella Norton to put that elbow pad back on. And she steps back into the box, waits the 3-2. That one will be sent down to second base. A nice job over there at second base for the blue team. Aguilar had to go a long way to get that one to record the out, and that is the third out of the inning.
And she probably went through the toughest part of the field surface-wise right there. That was probably one of the most damp spots that we've had, but she does a nice job of keeping her balance and readjusting and regaining her balance during the throwing motion. Good job by Elizabeth Aguilar.
So 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, the green team, and we'll move ahead of the top of the 6th when we return. There you get a look on the mound for the yellow team here. It's Kaylee Williams on the mound. Kaylee out of Austin, Texas, gets set to go up against Kelsey O'Reilly, who singled and scored back in the 2nd inning for the blue team. That one will bounce in, 1-0. O'Reilly out of Roswell, Georgia, right-hand batter on the 2013 class. Williams looks in, and the 1-0. Little high, 2-0.
For the coaches watching online that have baseball experience, you'll notice a lot of similarities between Kelsey Swing and Todd Green, former Major League Baseball player who she works with on a weekly basis hitting-wise.
Called strike, 2-1.
And that's one of the things that we've noticed region to region. We were talking about earlier, different characteristics of.
That one will be chopped to short and unable to come up with it. Still some wet grounds here at Akron, and having a difficult time coming up with that one was Garland, the shortstop.
One of the characteristics that we see out of Georgia kids, and it's typically a matter of the instruction and a lot of times the level of involvement of college coaches in areas with clinics and things and turning out good players is the Georgia kids have a lot of access to good instruction, and we see a lot of Georgia kids hit the ball exceptionally well. That's really the defining characteristic we've seen in the Southeast is the ability to swing the bat. Just goes to say that they've got a lot of good instructors in the area, and the travel coaches, the private instructors, the high school coaches are all doing a really good job with that region.
And the pitch. There's a called strike, 0-2 on the off-speed pitch to Melanie Marteri. Marteri had an RBI ground out in her last at-bat. O'Reilly at first, nobody out in the top of the 6th. There's a shot to left center field. That's a base hit. It'll be more. That'll roll up against the fence. Marteri in the 2nd. Around 3rd, O'Reilly is going to come in to score. That was a shot off the bat of Melanie Marteri. You know you hit the ball hard when, even though it's been raining for 2 days, that ball easily made it to the fence.
That didn't slow down at all, did it?
No, it didn't.
And that was the biggest improvement from last October. Melanie attended the Underclass Showcase in Houston, had a good showing. You could tell that she was going to hit for a high average. When she came back in June to Golden, Colorado at the All-American Preview event, she had a really good showing, had a lot more power, and that made us commit to her right then that we knew that she was somebody we needed to have here.
That'll bring up Aguilar, the young lady out of Arizona. She'll take it one look at 1-1. Aguilar with an open stance. Had an RBI single in her only at bat today.
Aguilar took the exact same route as Melanie Martiri did to the event. She attended the underclass showcase last October and secured her invite by the All-American preview showcase in Golden, Colorado, where she had a good showing.
That one is sent foul into the stands here at Firestone Stadium. 1-1. Again, you're watching the Fastpitch Scouting Report All-American Games. The finals this weekend from Firestone Stadium in Akron, Ohio. One will be sent down to second base. Scooping it up is Hughes. Throw to first for 1 out.
Hughes doing something there that's a little bit tough for a kid that throws 60-mile-an-hour out doing. That's to put a little bit of touch on the ball. You see a lot of kids not make the transition from short to second and go back and forth very efficiently. Just for that matter, they don't put a lot of touch on the ball, and they really put their first baseman in tough situations, but not Shannon Hughes. She did a really good job there.
Got to bring up Penny Nichols here. Pitch is a called strike. Penny Nichols walked and scored in the second. Runner at third is Melteri. She had an RBI double this inning. Pitch is high, 1-1. So Melteri at third, 1 out, top of the 6th inning. The blue team now at bat. And so far today, the blue team has pushed across 5 runs in their at-bats.
Izzy Barnes doing a real smart thing there. She receives the ball to her glove side that's up, brings her to her feet. She immediately looks to third base for a pickoff. And might have been looking for the pickoff before she caught that one.
Mm-hmm. Bounced off her mitt, 2-1. Third baseman is Parrish. She'll have to keep an eye in case Barnes wants to fire that ball to her. 2-1 the count. Williams on the mound. Kaylee with a fastball that's over but low, 3-1. Kaylee Williams in the 2014 graduating class out of Austin, Texas. And the pitch to Penny Nichols. That one will be shot to shortstop. Throw to first in time for the out.
I was about to say it's Mason Garland time, right?
Garland with the put out. And an RBI. Run scores. Second run of the inning for the blue team. Now nobody on and 2 out. I'll tell you what, I've noticed today, no matter who has been playing at shortstop for these teams, very good arms from all these young ladies.
That's one of the things we look at when we are grading out shortstops. That we feel like there's a certain level of arm that they have to play that position at the next level. And typically these kids will range from, you've got Shannon Hughes at 69 miles an hour. You've got Dana Horgan at 68 miles an hour. Mason Garland's a low 60 type arm. She's 63 miles an hour. And the thing I like about the shortstops and middle infielders they brought is that they're interchangeable. That should they go to a college program that needs them to fill in a hole, they can do that very easily. And Mason's the type of kid, especially at shortstop, just the type of kid you have to see play. I think a lot of times you'll see kids like this at camps that come in very energetic and things like that, but you know, we've seen, this is our third time to see Mason. We've never seen anything but just energy and effort on the field, and she really does things. It's kind of your David Eckstein.
And that's important for coaches too, to see that consistency, isn't it?
Right.
3-0 the count to Kayla Gomez, who had a double in her first at bat today. Young lady out of California. Takes a look at a called strike, 3-1. Gomez, we saw her pitch a couple of innings earlier. Three balls and a strike to count. Williams on the mound, Gomez at the plate. That's one sent fouled on the first base line into the stands here at Firestone Stadium. This is a Texas versus California matchup with the pitcher from Texas and the young lady batting from California. That one's going to be chopped down the first base line, and making the unassisted put out is Holhouse, the first baseman.
Good job of Holhouse making sure that she secured the ball, and as she tagged a runner, turning her chest back towards the towards the dugout to make sure that she didn't allow the runner's momentum to disrupt the ball at all.
So that's a couple of runs in the top of the 6th inning for the blue team. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th when we return to Firestone Stadium, home of the Akron Racers, right after this timeout. And it will be coming up to bat for the yellow team, Kaylee Williams. And who again is Chelsea Sagrin. First pitch will bounce in, ball 1. Edwards behind the plate, Sagrin on the mound. Kaylee Williams has won a bat today, and she walked. That one's lifted into short right center field, and that is going to fall for a base hit. Boy, a great effort out there by the right fielder, Packer, but she's unable to come up with it. It's a leadoff hit in the bottom of the 6th. And that will bring to the plate Shannon Hughes. Hughes had a single in her only at bat today. Again, Chelsea Sagrin on the mound. That one will bounce in. Nice stop by Edwards. Shelby Edwards, the catcher out of Georgetown, Texas, saved her pitcher a wild pitch there. It's ball 1. Way deep in right field is Packer defensively. That one's going to be chopped to short, and it will bounce off the knee of the shortstop in the center field. Unable to make that play out, and it's short as Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley had a choice on that. She needed either to take a drop step with her left foot and set herself up for a bigger hop or attack it. She stopped her feet as soon as she thought she was going to get a hop, but obviously in unpredictable situations with a little bit of mud on the field, that might have cost her a decision there.
Kendra Houston is the batter. Takes a check swing, went too far for strike 1. Houston flew out in her only at bat this afternoon. I guess back when she did it, it was this morning. That one's going to be sent up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Stopping at third base. Well, now coming around. She will think better and go back to third base as Williams. You don't want to run on that arm of the center fielder, Mitchell. So Houston with a solid base hit.
I think Taylor Schlopey, coaching third, had seen enough of Tia Mitchell to know that that's not a situation to try to run into an out there.
Number 8, Mason Garland.
Especially if nobody out. They'll bring up Mason Garland, who flew out to left field in her first at-bat today. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. On deck is Riley Rogers. So bases are loaded, nobody out. Overcast day. And the 0-1. That one's sent down the third base line, foul, 0-2. Way ahead of that one was a Mason Garland. Segrin, the pitcher, in her second inning of work. So again, we rotate through these three teams. Off-speed pitch is sent fouled on a left field line. Will remain 0-2. My broadcast partner, Mark Mulvaney, multitasking today.
Trying to not forget to run the radar gun.
You got the radar gun in one hand, your laptop in the other, keeping score with that third hand. I don't know how you keep track of it all. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That's just off the outside corner, 1-2, but a pretty good 0-2 pitch. I think Segrin looking in wanted that call, didn't get it.
Pretty good follow-up to a changeup on the 0-2 pitch.
So a ball and 2 strikes to Mason Garland. That one sent foul as Garland keeps this at bat alive. She fouled that one off into the dugout.
That's what Chelsea has to do. She has to command the screwball and miss off the plate in that situation to set up her drop curve, which is a pitch that she has better command on throwing for a strike or throwing in the dirt if she wants to. And so it's important for her to understand that she has to throw that secondary pitch off the plate so that she can do whatever she wants to with the ball that she commands better.
That one's going to be sent down to third base. Throw to first just in time for the out. Run scores.
Good job from Nikki Bland. I'm getting a handle on the ball and assessing the situation. Not hit that hard, so she's going to have a tough time recovering from that and getting the play at the plate.
Everybody will move up a base as Garland gets the RBI ground out. That'll bring up Riley Rogers, who in her only at-bat today had a double. Rogers with runners at second and third. An opportunity to drive in a couple. First pitch swinging, she'll lift that one, and the first baseman comes up with a Turner for the out.
Next up, number 11, Kenzie.
It's a nice
Chevalier.
pitch by the young lady, Chelsea Segrin, to get Rogers on a first pitch swinging pop-up in the infield. Called strike 0-1. And the batter now, Kenzie Chevalier. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. That one sent to center field. Mitchell right there, and she'll make the put out. And I think that's appropriate, Mark. She makes the final out of this first portion in the first game of today. She was the defensive star today. So
absolutely, and she did a good job there. From our vantage point, we could see that ball tailed about 10 to 12 feet to her right side, and she stayed patient in her tracks. She read the ball well, didn't jump on the path that started. She went where the ball was going, and that's what she does better than anybody here.
That'll do it for our first session. We will return with game number 2 in 10 minutes.